So welcome everybody. Really excited that you're here. And Ken, just to confirm, you can hear me with the audio nice and clear.
You're coming in nice and clear, a little soft. I boosted just a number or so.
Okay. All right. And all right. So here we go. All right. So in module number 3, remember our goal is to over the next 50 weeks, 49 weeks, is to help you to develop 7 different rivers of leads, filling up an ocean of prospects. Again, I want to reiterate over and over and over again how important it is to fill your prospect list. This is the new one that I made for myself yesterday, literally to kind of refocus myself on my own prospecting in my $1 million training business, literally using an old-fashioned paper list, and highly recommend that you go to the Google Doc. We've set up a Google Docs link where you can go in there and get all of the pertinent forms from this training. And one of the most important forms that you'll get is your daily prospecting calls list. When you are committed to putting names and numbers on a list and you're committed to writing them down on paper, you're going to see some magical things happen in your national group marketing business, in your new era life business. So our goal here, we're on week 3. We're on week 3. Hopefully you have decided that you wanted to start increasing the names and numbers on your list by sending more friend requests, by sending messages on Facebook to people, asking them if you could help give them a quote, asking if you could help reduce their health insurance premiums, fix Obamacare, help them with more benefits for their family. So week number 1, as Kent was saying, was all about filling your prospect list with your current friends on Facebook. You can have up to 5,000 friends on Facebook. If you missed the original the original training that we did, go back to week number 1, go into the Google Doc, find the Zoom training, for number 1, for training number 1, and watch that training. And remember to grab your paper list and start writing names and numbers down on that list. Very, very important. Remember, everything about succeeding in your new era life business is about having enough people to talk to. Would you agree? When these lists are full, when you've got lots of people to call, when you've got lots of people to talk to, all of your fear goes away. People say, well, I'm afraid of rejection. I don't want people to say no to me. I don't want people to say you bothered me or you used our relationship to ask me about health insurance. When you've got a list of 48 names and numbers or 96 names and numbers, you won't care. The way that you remove fear is you start filling up lists with names and numbers. You start sending lots of Facebook friend requests, and you start asking a lot of people with private messenger if they want to reduce their health insurance premiums.
You feel bulletproof.
You become bulletproof. Nobody can hurt you when you've got 100 to 150 to 200 people on a list. You're indestructible. How can they shoot you down? If one person out of 200 shoots you down, that's not a problem.
Next.
What the problem is, right? The problem is when you've only got 12 people on a list and you just took 3 no's, that's a bad day. You're done for the day. You won't call anybody else because your ego, your protection of self, your brain is saying, I got to protect myself. The answer to, listen to me when I say this to you. Jesus would say, for those of you who have ears to hear, hear this. Hear this. Become a marketer. Fill your prospect list with names and numbers. It will make you 6 figures plus a year. Some of you should be doubling, tripling, and quadrupling your income with just the first 2 weeks. Remember, everything is about getting names and numbers on this list. It's all about it. Go.
I just had a thought. the idea that what this the single and you tell me if you agree with this. The single most important asset you have is your attitude.
Absolutely.
The single most important thing that you have is your attitude. Okay, a big list protects your attitude.
Nice.
If you get a no or two and you have a list of 5, it's crushing. Okay, if you get a no or two and you have a list of 200, it's an annoyance.
Nice. That was directly from the spirit. I love that. That was great. Yes, it protects your attitude. Absolutely. So here's what we're going to do. I told you that in week number 3, I was going to show you how to build an online networking group. So what I'm about to show you is I'm going to show you how to actually build an online group. I'm going to show you how to build an online group so that you can literally get dozens and dozens of leads into the funnel. And this is actually going to be a 2-part series because there is so much to teach you in this. Now, by the way, I want to remind you that, and Ken, can you see where it says 1997 MJ saw an ad?
MJ saw an ad, BizOp, section
Excellent.
of the newspaper.
And what Kent Long will tell you is that I showed this this concept to him and Jimmy Reynolds and Sean Reynolds and a bunch of his leaders. And as he said last week, and I just want you to comment on this, what I'm about to show them, do you think this can really help revolutionize their business?
Huge. This one thing alone could be a source of 33%, 40% of your business.
So we're going to spend some time on this. We're going to spend 2 weeks on this. So this is going to be a 2-week lesson because I've got a lot to cover and I've got a lot of materials. And literally, you are getting a $50,000 to $60,000 training right here. The concept that I'm about to teach you. Do not miss it. It is incredibly valuable. Let me give you some background.
And MJ, that's not being facetious. When I belonged to a BNI group 7, 8 years ago, we used to actually calculate the dollar amount of every seat in our network. My seat was worth about $75,000 a year in referrals. That was the average referral in our group if you calculated it. So he's not being facetious when he says this. It's just worth money.
Yeah, this is serious stuff. Take this very seriously. In 1997, I saw an ad in the BizOps section of the local newspaper, and in that ad it said, "Run a meeting for small business owners. Help small business owners get leads, referrals, give them advice and training." So I like to say, went to a meeting in a hotel. Sound familiar to anybody?
There you go.
So you've all been invited to a hotel meeting or at least a living room meeting, and perhaps somebody served you dinner back in the 80s or the 90s, and then they fed you a whiteboard for dessert. But I went to a hotel, I saw a presentation, and I loved this concept. And I bought a $10,000 license to open up a chapter of a company called the Small Business Network. Now, the Small Business Network was a group of former Tony Robbins trainers who loved BNI. They loved the idea of networking with BNI, but they didn't like BNI. They didn't like all of the militant rules. They didn't like the way that people got thrown out of BNI. They didn't like the heavy hand of BNI. Nothing wrong with BNI. BNI is a great organization. Actually, no one has ever replicated what Ivan Meisner has done with BNI. There's over 300,000 BNI members worldwide. BNI works. So what we decided to do was we decided to do a meeting, but do it instead of every week, 7 a.m., grinding. We met once a month for dinner and a training. And I started a chapter of a virtual business, of a small business network, and we gave referrals and leads to each other, and thousands of dollars worth of business was exchanged. Let me guarantee you that thousands and thousands of dollars of business was exchanged. Tamara says, what is BNI? So BNI is Business Networking International. BNI is Business Networking International. And for those of you who know what BNI is, it's a weekly meeting, 7 a.m. in the morning, where business owners get together and they trade leads and they trade referrals. So I had 100 members in my group. I charged them $800 a year. And I like to say I made $80,000 a year before the word side hustle was ever invented. Now, I want you to understand something. I was in the sales training business. So what I did was I went out and I built a network that met once a month. We had dinner. I ran a meeting. We provided training, and we put people together to connect with each other. Now, I'm about to say something very important. Do not miss this. Because I was the leader of the network, because I put the network together, here's what happened. I was the most visible person in the network. Now, what we did was we had one accountant, we had one attorney, we had one auto mechanic, we had one beauty salon, we had one heating and cooling company, we had one excavating company, we had one plumber, one electrician, one home inspection service, one realtor, one mortgage originator, and I was the sales trainer and business consultant. Let me tell you who got the most leads out of the 100 members in that group. Me. I got the most leads. Why? Because I are your leader. Because I was the one who brought everybody together. I assembled everybody together, and I want you to write this down. What happened was, by me putting people together, I put money in their pocket. Wow. And I'm going to show you how important that is. So I want you to imagine yourself. I want you to imagine yourself as an agent, and I want you to imagine yourself building your own chapter of your own network, but I'm going to show you a very, very intriguing way on how to do this. Now, what if there was a way that you could build relationships with local business owners, salespeople, and managers in your local business community that would produce hundreds, literally hundreds of leads that would turn into business owners and individuals that you could do a bid, you could show a brochure, and you could take an application? What if there was a way that I could show you how to do that? Would that be of interest to them, Kent?
Yes.
Would you, if I had a way to do that, would you want to see it?
Yes, I would.
Most people would say yes. And then I would say, what if you could double or triple your sales and explode the growth of your new Era Life business, your national group marketing business, by getting dozens of qualified leads that would turn into applications and sales? Everybody right now should be nodding their head up and down, raising their hand, going, yes, MJ, saying the words out loud, even though you're all muted. Say to yourself, yes, I want to know this. This is very, very powerful. So here's the concept. I'm going to teach you something. Again, this is a $60,000 training, easy, and will make you $100,000 to $200,000 to $300,000 a year. This is a concept that I developed called the Virtual Business Network, and Sarah says yes, and Roman says only within the group, exchange referrals, boom, yes. Leo says haha, absolutely, yes. So the Virtual Business Network is a hybrid of old-fashioned relationship building like BNI, but it is blended with virtual technology. So I took my old idea, I combined it with new technology, and I came up with a program called the Virtual Business Network. Let me explain to you what a virtual business network is. Now, a virtual business network is literally a virtual business network. What I'm going to show you how to do today is I'm going to show you how to run a networking group. I'm going to show you how to run your own networking group that meets once a week and that meets online. And you do not have to go and get a room. You don't have to go rent out a restaurant. You don't have to do any. Yes, sir.
That's huge. I belonged to a BNI group, was there, and it was very profitable for me. I had to quit the BNI group because I couldn't hit the mandatory attendance requirement. I simply couldn't do it because of travel and other things. So this solves that problem.
Yeah, this solves many, many problems that you might have. This solves, believe me, this solves a lot of problems that you would have with a normal networking group. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna teach you in 2 weeks, this week and next week. I'm gonna show you how to create and run a networking group that meets once a week online, and you are gonna be the leader of your own chapter. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to get 5 co-founders to help you get the group started. Now, co-founders are important because I don't want you doing all the work for the group. I want you out doing bid, brochure, and application, bid, brochure, and application, bid, brochure, and application.
Amen.
I say, can I get a hallelujah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want you on Zoom, on the phone, in person, at kitchen tables. I want you doing bids, showing them the brochure, taking the application, bid, brochure, application, bid, brochure, application. So I don't want you spending all the time running your group. I want you to get 5 good people that are going to help you run the group. This is very important what I just said. These 5 co-founders are going to help you fill the group up with the needed professions, and they're going to assume some responsibility in the group, and they're going to get something for that. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to offer an exclusive position to each profession that comes into your network. 1 accountant, 1 auto mechanic, 1 massage therapist, 1 beauty salon, 1 photographer, 1 event planner, 1 DJ service, 1 payroll service. Let me think of the people that are in my group. 1 caterer, 1 heating and cooling company, 1 electrician, 1 plumber, 1 home inspection service. Each person gets a coveted, they get each one of your co-founders, and everybody in your group is going to have their own profession. They're gonna literally own that seat. Kent said they determined how much his seat in that group was worth to him. That's a very, very good way of looking at it.
We did quite a bit of accounting. We would turn in what we call B&I bucks, and someone would actually tally how many referrals I got and what the dollar value of those were. And at the end of the year, I could say that my seat was worth $75,000 because that's what it meant to me in referrals.
Absolutely. Yeah. And this is, I'm telling you, if for those of you that will implement this, now remember, I'm going to show you, 52 different ways to get leads. So if this doesn't float your boat, that's okay. I mean, you might want to show this recording to some of your other agents and say, hey, this isn't for me, but I would recommend that you men and women start it. But remember, this is 1 of 52 in order to get your 7 ways. Once you get this thing up and running, though, I will tell you, you know the saying, if you feed a person a fish, you feed them for a day. If you teach them how to fish, if you teach them how to build a group that will generate referrals over and over and over again, it will feed you for a lifetime. Literally, you'll be setting up a situation here. If you work hard at implementing this thing over the next 3 months, you're going to have leads and referrals flowing into you for the next couple of years like you wouldn't believe. My group feeds me a tremendous amount of leads. Your co-founders, now remember, your co-founders are going to get great visibility. I want you to have 5 to 10 co-founders. They're going to get great visibility, and they're going to have great authority. They're going to get a lot of leads. Let me say something very important to you. The people that are active in the group, they get the juice. They're the ones that get the referrals. They're the ones that get people saying, hey, I want to send you, I have a friend of mine that's complaining about health insurance. I've got a family member who was complaining and was bitterly complaining about Obamacare the other day at the dinner table, at the barbecue, at Thanksgiving, at Christmas. This is a perfect time for you to start building a group like that and getting your co-founders in place, because leads are going to start flowing into you like you can't imagine. One of the first things you've got to do is you got to pick 5 co-founders to help you to start and run your network. So what you're going to do is you're going to look for, and I'm going to explain the group more to you as we go in. I'm going to do it as part of the actual. Go ahead.
Sorry for interrupting. Part of the thing, some people that I saw where some people are a little bit unfamiliar with B&I. When a B&I group forms, there's 3 or 4 anchor spots that are very coveted. People really want to get it. So this is a highly desirable thing. If somebody who's recognized and people respect is starting to form a B&I group or that type of a network group, people know the value of this. So this is something that's really desirable.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. I never said it that way, but that's a very precise speech that Kent just used. There are anchor positions within a group that do really, really well. And so I want you to be very careful about the co-founders that you're about to pick, because I'm going to show you some of those anchor professions that literally will make a fortune in your group. So I want you to pick well when you bring your co-founders in. And I'll start by showing you some real, some real, that's a great term. I love that term, Kent. Thank you. Anchor. These are anchor positions that will clean up in a group like this. I like sales-oriented professions because those people usually know how to talk to people, and they're usually good at helping you to get people into the group. A realtor, a really good visible realtor that does a lot of business, that has very good visibility in your town or your city or your village, this is a very, very powerful position. Anybody that has anything to do with security systems, alarm systems, cameras, motion detectors, protecting businesses or homes, they usually do tremendous in a group like this. Your mortgage originator will make a fortune. I will show you my mortgage originator in 6 weeks in the group made $10,000 in commission. Pick your mortgage originator very well. Make sure that they are very well connected. Make sure that they are good at sales. Make sure they got a big mouth, and make sure that boca grande. Make sure they got a big mouth and they can talk to a lot of people. Anything that is connected to real estate, title insurance, home inspection service, water testing, well inspection, septic inspection, anything that relates around home services or the sales of homes is very, very powerful. A sales trainer or a business consultant will do extremely well. A life coach is a good person. Obviously, an accountant is an anchor position. Make sure you get an accountant that's got a really big mouth that knows how to talk. Don't get a real detailed accountant that doesn't like people or is not good at networking. You got to find that accounting firm or that accounting, maybe an account development person with inside a firm. You got to find people that are good at communicating. They're good networkers.
MJ, a good tip for your accountant, your prospective accountant you're thinking about inviting to your team, Google them. If you can't find them, that's a good hint.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah, excellent. The car dealership in your town, the realtor in your town, the restaurant in your town. Make sure that they're the visible people. You want to bring some co-founders in that have got some juice. So if you can go and get a very well-known visible business, and if you Google them and you can't find them, then you know what? They're probably not prolific enough unless they're doing all kinds of old-fashioned advertising and they're on your cable TV every week with the local football games, with their jewelry store or their plumbing business or whatever. But make sure that you get people. Malcolm Gladwell called them. He called these people connectors. He said they were excellent at connecting. That usually means people that are extroverted and they usually have a pretty big mouth. Attorneys are good. Again, make sure that you get an attorney that is a good networker, somebody who goes to a lot of networking events or church events or is very prolific in your community. Some other professions, you'll notice that some of these professions are very similar to what I showed you last week in doing vendor marketing. Now what you're going to do is you're going to use those same professions to bring them in as co-founders. Kitchen and bath remodeling, window installation, car sales, bookkeepers, pools and spas. Right now, what should be happening to you agents is you should be thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, I know the most amazing realtor in our town. Oh my goodness, I know the best carpet person around. I know the best caterer. She knows everybody. He does all the catering for all the businesses in town. I know the person who does radio or TV sales. They'd be amazing. I know a great mediator. They helped my brother and my sister split up and everything was reasonable. I know a great bookkeeper. Somebody chatted in and said IT professional. Everybody needs someone to fix their computers, to help them with computer issues.
MJ, you mentioned something to me when we had our first discussion about this. It was really very intriguing the more I thought about it, because you were saying how it solved the two biggest problems of BNI are solved with this. I don't mean to steal your thunder. I'll let you tell what the two biggest problems are. But one of the things you mentioned was one of the first people that you got in your group was a graphic designer. The graphic designer is really useful if you're doing everything web-based. Your graphic designer can actually do a commercial by doing a lot of the in work, how you put it a certain way, and you can talk about the two biggest things that this thing solves.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, the graphic designer is a perfect co-founder because they can help you tremendously. Um, and uh, and 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 tell me what are the two biggest things that this solves? Tell me where
It's a kind of a toss-up. Some people think the cost in some groups is up to $1,000 a year because there's a membership fee, there's a background check, an application fee. Also, sometimes you're required to buy lunch. Okay, and when you add it all up, it's like $1,000 a year. Some people think that's a little steep. Okay, and then the other one is daggum mandatory attendance. I mean, and the people that run our BNI would not let us send a surrogate. And that you have staff for a reason, but they insisted that you be there, and it became a problem. I could no longer attend.
Yeah, that's let's just tell you that right now. So Kent brings up two good points. In the group that you're going to form, you're not going to charge people $600 to $1,000 and have them pay for eggs that they don't want to eat or a rubber chicken dinner that they don't want to eat, and you're not going to require them to be there. And if they don't show up, you're going to beat on them and make them feel bad and make them feel ashamed. One of the worst things about a networking group that is very militant is that you have to understand a lot of these people are business owners themselves. They are not, the reason they're in business, they don't like rules. They don't like people telling them what to do. Then they join a BNI group because they need business. And then BNI says, if you have 3 absences in a quarter, we're going to kick you out and keep your money. Number 2.
No soup for you.
Right. And in addition, when we teach you how to build these groups, I just want you to get dozens and dozens of referrals. Now, eventually, we'll come back to you in 6 months or 9 months, and we'll show you how you can actually make money off of your group. But you shouldn't bring people into your group and charge them. You should bring them in and say, I'm going to let you have an exclusive position as the payroll service. I'm going to let you be the exclusive carpenter in my group. I'm going to have you be the exclusive chiropractor in my group. You're going to be the exclusive psychotherapist, tent and party rental people, video service. You are going to be the exclusive person. And what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to give a lot of referrals and a lot of leads and do a lot of business with folks. Here's some more valuable co-founders: a graphic designer, a virtual assistant, a digital ad agency, a social media consultant, a website designer, an online video consultant. Hey, I want you to understand something. All of these people would be valuable co-founders because they can help a lot of you do stuff that you are not good at. Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah. I mean, you have to explain to me what half of these things are.
Yeah. The key is we're looking for people that understand Facebook, that understand web, they understand Instagram, they understand the difference between a PDF and a JPEG, and they can help you run your Facebook group. They can help you run the Zoom calls. I want people that can actually do the meeting for you. I don't want you doing all the meetings, right? I have one of my guys runs an answering service, and he also likes to do public speaking, and he's my backup MC for my group. He loves to talk, and he's a big mouth, boca grande, and Michael from Accurate Answering Service, he's my backup man to be able to do the group for me when I'm not able to be there. All right, let's keep talking about your co-founders. Your co-founders should have outgoing personalities. They should be good connectors. They should be business owners, managers, or salespeople. It is good if they call on businesses because they will already have a big customer list of businesses. So if they are a payroll service or a management consultant or a credit card processor, they're already calling on businesses. So they're going to say, hey, I know the best chiropractor we should get. I know the management consultant we should get. I know the best web design person. Number
MJ,
6. Yeah.
I got a really pertinent point here. I hope you get the gravity of what I'm getting ready to say, because this has really got to just realize this. Okay, BNI groups are owned by their franchises, and someone owns, say for instance, the rights to the state of Oklahoma, and that person, and now we kind of had an inside joke in the person, and I'm not going to name names. She's a nice person, okay, but she's a little bit of a control freak, and she has a tendency to treat her BNI leaders as kindergartners, okay. Therefore, they've started about 14 BNI groups in the state of Oklahoma, okay. She's the person, the leader of that group, has started almost as many that left BNI, because the frustration level, you think, I'm a self-employed business owner, I'm used to running my own thing, and here I have a grade school person telling me how I can't have an official meeting unless I have 20 people. We have 19, but we don't have a quorum, so we can't have an official meeting. But consequently, we say that many groups have started. So there's a certain level of frustration with BNI and Gold Star and some of these other networking groups because of the two things, the cost and the mandatory meetings, okay? This solves a lot of that, and literally you can, some of your best people are in networking groups right now that would like the freedom of a virtual networking group. They just don't know one exists. And you could potentially poach some of the best networkers in your area by going to the very best networkers in that BNI group. For example, when we went to Arizona, MJ was involved with us, and we talked about, we're going out to Arizona. We're going to try to see if we can open up that market. And one of the first things I did was I went to BNI's roster, found a young lady who was an insurance agent on a BNI team, mentioned to him that we're bringing our product to Phoenix. You might be interested. I'm taking a peek. She's now one of our leaders out there and has already halfway qualified for the leadership conference in California. So proud of her and the leadership. But that's where I found her. I found her sitting in the BNI group, frustrated.
Yeah, there's a lot of, Kent makes amazing points. I love it. Hey, Kent, I need you to do about 5 or 6 of these presentations with me a day. Thank you.
Okay. All right, that's okay. I'll negotiate with you.
I'll sell health insurance. You help me sell virtual business network.
Done. I'll have the contact emailed. Yeah.
So everything that Kent says is exactly right on. You could start thinking right now about getting down to your local chamber of commerce. The beautiful Bonnie and I are going out tonight. One of our members in our virtual group told us about a little business expo that's happening in our one of the towns nearby, and they're going to have some hors d'oeuvres and businesses set up with little tables. It's a perfect place to walk around, collect business cards, and then call those people back or text them back and say, hey, whatever you are doing, in person, I can show you how to do online, and you never have to leave your office or your house. And it's a very, very powerful
Folks,
way to do it.
You have to grasp the power of this thing. Let me give you a scenario real quick. Suppose I'm moving to Connecticut. Maybe I want to start sailing like MJ does every day. Okay, so I want to move up to Connecticut and enjoy the trees and sail. I moved to a small town near MJ, and I don't know a plumber, I don't know a realtor, I don't know anybody. All of a sudden, I find someone in a BNI group or a Gold Star group. I am networked. They're going to hook me up with someone that they trust who can roof my house. They're going to hook me up with someone who can do my plumbing. They're going to hook me up with someone who can show me where the coolest places in town to eat that it may take me years to find out about this cool place to eat in town. But because that person's networked, there's value in this, folks. You got to understand there's huge value in this. Go ahead, MJ. I'm sorry, brother.
Kevin Kincaid says, agreed. BNI burnouts make great referral partners.
Okay.
A BNI burnout. So here's what I want you to do, folks. I want you to send a message to your potential co-founder. I like texts. I like private Facebook messages. You could leave a voicemail. You could walk into someone's business. You could walk up to them at the expo that I'm going to tonight, with eating your crab puff and say, hey, I've got a brand new idea that I think could 100x your customer sales and increase the profits in your massage business, in your catering business, in your jewelry business, in your heating and cooling business, in your pest control business. Do you have time to talk with me later today or tonight? It'll take 15 minutes on a Zoom call. If that message doesn't work, I hit them with another message. I hit them with, hi, I found a way to blend authentic relationship building with virtual technology as a way to bring in dozens of qualified leads and referrals for your accounting business each week. Do you have time to talk with me tonight or tomorrow? it'll take 15 minutes on a Zoom call. Now, in the Google Docs that that Danielle and that Sean Reynolds are the purveyors of, or the keepers of the Google Docs, that Google Doc will be updated later today or first thing tomorrow with some of these messages, presentations, a PowerPoint that you can use. I'm going all out for national group marketing. I'm telling you, I'm giving you $150,000 worth of training. You guys take this and run with it. I want you to be successful. You come back to me and say, hey, MJ, I've got 100 members in my group in San Antonio. I've got 100 members in Tyler, Texas. I love what you showed me to do. Just the way you would pay me back is to build a big group and then just do a boatload of insurance business. Just be doing bids and brochure and application, bid, brochure and application, bid, brochure and application. Can I get an amen?
There you go, brother.
Amen. Okay, so I'm going to give you a very quick presentation. I'm going to give you a very quick presentation of what this is going to look like when you do the presentation to a co-founder, a potential co-founder. This is the co-founder presentation, what I'm doing right now. So we're going to simulate, make believe. I'm just going to go through it quickly and show you what you would say to a co-founder in a 10-minute Zoom call. You will start with this slide. Hey, Mr. Accountant, what if there was a way that you could build relationships with local business owners that would produce hundreds of qualified leads that would turn into customers, clients, and accounts for your accounting business, for your bookkeeping business, for your jewelry shop, for your antique business.
Okay, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. What do you got?
Yes, and what if you could double your sales, increase your profits, and explode the growth of your business by getting dozens of qualified leads either ringing your phone, coming into your email, people texting you? What if I could pour leads into your business? Would you be interested in seeing that? Yes, I would. Excellent. Well, here's what we've done. We've developed a concept called the Virtual Business Network. Are you familiar with BNI? Have you ever been to a BNI meeting? I'll just answer my own questions, Ken.
Okay.
So have you ever been in a BNI group? Did it work? Did it not work? They'll have a whole the phrase BNI burnout is a genius phrase. Most BNI burnouts will tell you they tried it, but it didn't work for them for any of 1,000 reasons. You say, great, we've fixed all the reasons. So what we've done is we've taken old-fashioned relationship building like BNI, and we've blended it with virtual technology. Literally, I've had people say, wait a minute. So what you're saying is you basically do BNI, but you do it online. And I said, that's it. It's BNI online. Excellent. Well, I had a guy last week, a big training company that trains realtors. He goes, how come BNI hasn't thought of this?
Yeah.
I said, they're not as smart as MJ Durkin. What can I tell you? So here's what our virtual network group solves. Why should you drive to meetings? Why should you waste time? Why should you eat or pay for cold eggs that you don't want to eat? Why should you fight traffic? Why should you blow out half a day or an evening when you could get dozens of leads for your business online? So you say to them, so what I'm doing is I am building the virtual business network of Tyler, Texas. And so what I'm doing here is I want to talk to you about what small business owners want the most. And what small business owners want the most is they don't need another Date with Destiny seminar from Tony Robbins. They don't need Grant Cardone telling them that they need to hustle and grind it out. What they really need is new customers, don't they, Mr. or Ms. Business Owner? Yes. And when you send customers, clients, and referrals to small business owners, they love you. And they want to help you by giving you referrals, by giving you leads. This is very, very, very important. What do small business owners want the most? And you say to your potential co-founder, now remember, you're talking to the graphic designer, you're talking to the realtor, you're talking to the mortgage originator. What do most small business owners want the most? They don't need more training. They don't need another seminar. They need some darn business. And you say to them, would you agree? Does that make sense to you? And they'll go, yes. And you say, great. So I want you to imagine yourself as a co-founder of the Virtual Business Network of Tyler, Texas. You're going to have 50 to 100 business owners supporting your business. You get 50 to 100 business owners looking out for your accounting business, sending you referrals. As a co-founder, you're going to have great visibility, and leads and referrals are going to flow up to you. Would it be worth it to you if you were able to have 100 business owners, the accountant, the chiropractor, the car dealership, the restaurant in our town, the big restaurant in our town, and you use all kinds of restaurants, steak, Chinese, sushi, every restaurant you can think of, you should put in your group. You don't give an exclusive for restaurants. As a co-founder, you'll have great visibility. Would it be worth it to you to have 100 businesses on the street trying to send you business, Ms. Chiropractor, Dr. Chiropractor? Yes, that would really be worth it. Great. Well, here's what we've done. We've developed a thing called the Virtual Business Network of Tyler, Texas. And here's what we are. We are a group of business owners that are the best. The only way to come into our group is you've got to be really, really good. You've got to be very, very high quality. You can only come into a virtual business network by referral. Our members strive to support the group members by giving them leads. We give qualified leads whenever possible to help each other increase our sales. Now, our meetings happen once a week. Now, your meeting, by the way, our meeting, you say to the co-founder, the potential co-founder, our meeting can happen anytime we want. It can be a lunch meeting. It can be a late morning meeting. It can be an evening meeting. It could be twice a week if we wanted, but they recommend that we start it once a week, and we do it for about 45 to 60 minutes. Attendance is not required. Boom! Because people hate that requirement thing, and our meetings are all held virtually using Zoom. So the beautiful thing about Zoom, Mr. and Ms. Co-founder, is you don't waste any time, like we said before, and you don't waste any time. You don't eat a dinner or breakfast that you don't like or you don't want to pay for. We've eliminated the $1,000 that you're going to end up paying. We're going to start a private Facebook group. It's going to be the private Facebook group of the Virtual Business Network of Tyler, Texas. And our members, the chiropractor, the auto mechanic, the massage therapist, the jewelry designer, the psychotherapist, the caterer, they're all going to give leads to each other and connect inside of the private Facebook group. This is genius. Write this down. You are building a closed community of people that will support each other. You are building a closed community, and you can manage, literally, I saw members in my group on Sunday morning sending leads to each other back and forth inside my private Facebook group saying, hey, who's the plumber in our group? My sister doesn't have water. She needs water. She needs to get her pump fixed. Do we have somebody that can fix her pump? Boom, I saw the lead go over. Later that afternoon when I got back from church and heard a great sermon on Nehemiah rebuilding the wall, I saw in the Facebook group, thanks for referring me to Darren the plumber. My sister got water. It was only a control box. It cost $75. Darren is the best. I'm so glad I'm a member of this group.
MJ,
please.
Didn't mean to interrupt the flow.
No.
There's a couple side benefits that just made me think about this.
Please.
There's a heat and air guy I met in my B&I group about 7-8 years ago. Okay, haven't been in B&I in 3 years. Okay, I was in Texas at a meeting, and the air conditioner, the heating unit goes out in my house just as the cold front comes through. I called up my heat and air guy that I knew from B&I days. He stopped what he was doing and came over and fixed the air conditioner or the heater for my wife. When I'm out of town, I can't take care of it. The relationships that I created made me kind of a more powerful person in that people that have a heat and air problem, I got a guy who's Johnny on the spot. I totally trust the guy. And whenever he gives me a referral, I've been teed up. It's like it's practically a lay down because he does this one element. He transfers his trust. People trust MJ. Okay, if MJ says, "Hey, this guy's a good guy," you transfer that trust from MJ to the guy. This is the reason this thing is so powerful.
Yeah, it's absolutely right. It's literally it is a system for developing laydowns for health insurance and any other kind of insurance that you sell. It literally is they'll be handed to you on a silver platter, and the business owner will say, hey, you need to speak to Kent about this. I trust him. Whatever he says, do it because it's worked for me. So Mr. and Ms. Co-founder, so here's what a group looks like. Now, I want everybody, I'm going to go off the script for a minute here. The slides I'm about to show you, actually the slides I have been showing you, is actually what we use in our group each week in the Virtual Business Network. So literally, what I did is I went out and I called my friend Pels, and Pels is a realtor, and I said, Pels, I'm starting a networking group. And he goes, oh, that's awesome. I love networking groups. He goes, MJ, you know, realtors sell millions of dollars worth of business out of networking groups. He said, you just need to know one thing. He said, I'm 46 years old. I've been doing this for 25 years. I would love to join your networking group, but I don't want to drive anywhere, dude. I said, I get it, man. You're going to love this. So I show him that he can be in a networking group, never has to leave his office. He can interact with 40, 50, 60, 70 other group members. He can get leads. He can give leads. He can go in the private Facebook group at 10 o'clock at night or Saturday morning at 9 o'clock. He can see what the other members are doing. He can advertise his group in there. He can connect with people, and he never has to leave his home or office. He said, how much do you want, MJ? How much is it, $1,000? He goes, BNI is costing about $800 a year to $1,000 a year. How much do you want? I said, no charge, bro. Just be a good member, come in and give my members a lot of leads. He was like, I'm into it. I'm going to tell you this story really quickly because it's really, it's dear to my heart. Kathleen is a young lady in her 40s. She's going through a divorce, having a real tough time. Her husband's kind of MIA. She's the main breadwinner in the family. And she says to me, my business is down. Indeed.com has been killing me. ZipRecruiter.com has been killing me. She joined the group. She got some jobs for some of our members' kids. One of the guys was so grateful that she got a job for one of his kids that she literally called me up and she said, this guy called her and said, you got a job for my son this summer when he was home from college. I think you're awesome. How can I help you? She said, well, we need to meet like big accounting firms. We need to meet like big accounting firms and law firms. And he said, great, I'm going to hook you up with my accountant. Kathleen called me a week later and she said, MJ Durkin, you are my best friend in the whole world. Tell your wife I love you. I said, great, Kathleen, tell me why. She said, we just signed the biggest client ever that Garrett introduced us to his accounting firm. They're the biggest accounting firm in our city. I think you saved our year. Wow. Imagine, not only are you going to give them business, not only are you going to get business for yourself, but you're also going to help people that need help. And this young lady needed some help. Her mother started this company in 1989, and she's watched it decline in the last 3 or 4 years. The internet has beat the heck out of her, but she used old-fashioned relationship building with virtual technology to put herself back on the map. Very, very, very powerful stuff. Hey, now remember, this is what you're saying to your co-founders. This is Accurate Answer. Accurate Answer is a business that's in a network back out east. They do 24-hour answering service. By the way, they've also got 26 employees. And if they're a member of a group, you can not only market to the owner of the company, but you can also market. You could also do seminars or market. Imagine being able, as a health insurance professional, to go in and to do a seminar in health insurance for her 26 employees. Krista has 26 employees. So if she's a member of the network and somebody wants to go in and do a chiropractic wellness seminar, or wants to go in and do a financial wellness seminar, or wants to go in and how to reduce your health cost seminar, she's got 26 people in her office that she could gather together and do a seminar for her people. The potential in this group is so amazing. Here's another example of a member that's done really well in a group out there back east. His name is Joe Malazzi, and they're not a lead for you, Kent.
Just asking, man.
It's a good. So always sniffing around, always smelling.
It was me or Tish Zitzow going to do it, so.
Somebody was going to hit me up for the health insurance, right? This is Joe Malazzi. Again, what we do in our meeting, what we do in our meeting is, and I'll teach you this next week. I'll show you how to run a meeting. But what we actually do is we show the slide. We have the person talk about what a good lead is for them. We run. I want you to understand this. People have a hard time visualizing this meeting. I want you, everybody that's ever been to a network meeting, I want you to picture a live networking meeting. I want you to picture that there's the alarm guy, nice looking guy named Joe, is sitting there with his nice alarm system t-shirt on, and he's sitting there, and the group member, the leader of the group says, okay, Joe, give us your 2-minute commercial on night security systems and tell us what a good lead is for you. Can you all imagine that? Everybody here, can you imagine that scenario?
Yes.
Everybody goes, yeah, I've been in that group. I've had somebody point to me and say, tell us your name, tell us what you do, give us your 60-second elevator pitch. You're all familiar with that?
Yeah.
Okay. We do the exact same thing online. I pull Joe's slide up. I look at Joe in the right-hand corner on the Zoom thing. I say, hey, I see that Joe Malazzi is here. Joe, tell us about night security. And you got 2 minutes to tell us about night security and what a good lead is for you. Go. So while the slide is up, Joe now starts talking about night security and the kind of leads that he's looking for. And what happens is people start chatting in real time. Hey, Joe, call my brother. He just moved into a house. He needs an alarm system. Hey, Joe, we just moved into a new office. Could you come and check our security camera? We don't think it's working. Hey, Joe, my cousin is a realtor. I think she would like to, she'd be happy to network with you and send you leads. So we do the same thing that you see in a BNI meeting. We just do online using Zoom. So I show the slide of Joe, or I slow the slide of Krista, and I say, okay, Krista, tell us about accurate answer and what's a good lead for you. And then I say, okay, Kathleen, tell us about Marie Nugent Personnel Services and what's a good lead for you. Okay, pals, tell us about the Matthews Group and Ravis Real Estate and tell us what a good lead is for you. And that's how the networking is done online. I tell all of my members, what we will do, potential co-founder, is we'll tell everybody that we're going to connect them. It's their job to network behind the scenes. As a co-founder, here's what's going to happen. You're going to be one of the most visible people in the network. You're going to get dozens of referrals and leads for your business. I'm going to give you an exclusive slot for your profession. If you will help me invite new prospects to the network and you will help me run the meetings, I would like to invite you to be one of my 5 co-founders. I'm going to get 5 co-founders, and I have thought of you, Ms. Realtor, because I think the world of you. You're very well connected. You do a great job. You help me sell my house. You're going to get great visibility and authority, and you'll be seen as an expert in your field among all the members. And then right here in the slides, I'm going to show you how to close them. Can I make a recommendation? Can I make a recommendation, Ms. Realtor? I would recommend that you come into my virtual business network of Tyler, Texas as a co-founder. Let's build a huge network that will support all of our businesses. When do you think is the best meeting time for you? Set your meeting date, set your time, and start your first meeting as soon as possible. Get a realtor to say yes. Get a mortgage originator to say yes. Get you should take any slots that will benefit you. So if you sell other insurances, don't let anybody else in. Write this down. You will be the benevolent dictator of your group. Okay? I want you to be the benevolent dictator of your group. If you sell life insurance, take the life insurance slot. If you do financial planning, take the financial planning slot. I want this group to benefit you. I want it to benefit you. Get your co-founder to set a date and a meeting. Start your first meeting as soon as possible. Make a list. So here's your next steps. Make a list of 10 or so potential co-founders. Message those potential co-founders and ask for a 15-minute Zoom conversation. A 15-minute Zoom conversation. Show them the potential co-founder presentation and make a recommendation that they join as a co-founder. And I want you to set your first meeting date. I want you to set a date. I want you to have a virtual business network meeting in the next week. And I don't care if just you and your realtor shows up, or you and your mortgage person shows up, or you and your plumber shows up. But I want you to start a meeting, even if it's only a 15-minute meeting. Let me tell you that Joe Malazzi and I started this group. We started the group, and the first 2 meetings, nobody showed up. We invited a bunch of people, and nobody showed up. But the 3rd meeting, 6 other business owners showed up, and our virtual business network exploded onto the scene. And so I want you to set your first meeting date. You're going to get in the Google Docs, you're going to get all the materials that you need to succeed with this. I'm giving you a $100,000 training package showing you how to build this. For those of you that have ears to hear this. If you build this, if you build it, it will provide leads for your business. It will be laydowns. It will be people that want health insurance and everything else that you sell. Kent Long,
MJ,
comments?
I was going to say that anybody, I love that term that I need to give credit to whoever came up with that term, the B&I burnouts. Okay.
Kevin Kincaid, I think, said it.
I might have an idea on how to find B&I burnouts. There's when I found the young lady in Arizona, B&I people are easy to find on the internet. So you can literally pull up their group, see exactly who's doing what. In a couple conversations on the telephone, you could probably find out maybe who's left the group. Like, say for instance, if there's a brand new realtor in the group, that tells you that somebody left. That realtor may have been very good, but been a B&I burnout. And in just a few, this is going to take some work, but when you get this thing set up, it's like you've dug the well, and it's going to produce water for a long time.
It's amazing. That's another great analogy, man. Yeah, yes, yeah. You're going to dig a well that is going to produce water for a long time. Couldn't have said it better. Sean Reynolds says, a private Facebook message has already been sent to my mortgage lender, the #1 choice for my group. It's perfect. Yes. Don't waste any time. Some of you will try to figure this out, and I don't know how to do it. Look at number 5. I want you in the next week to host an online meeting. Now look, a Zoom account will cost you $29.95 a month. For goodness sake, get that $29 a month package. It is worth it. And you can have up to 100 people on a Zoom meeting. That's plenty. You won't have more than 100 on a morning meeting. I've never hit 100. I don't even have 100 members in my group. My group's 3 months old. My group has 70 members in it. Okay? And not all the members show up. Believe me, it is easy to run an online meeting. I want you to picture whatever happens in a BNI meeting, get a bunch of people on Zoom next week, and show their website online. Before I had the slides, I was showing websites. I was showing people's websites. Now, it's not really efficient to do that with Zoom, but I did. Joe would talk, and I would pull Joe's website up, and I would direct people to his website, and Joe would tell us about Night Security. And then I would go to Pels, and I would bring up Ravis Real Estate, and Pels would talk. And then eventually we came up with the idea of doing the PowerPoint slides. The PowerPoint is already set up for you. We'll put that in the document for you. You can copy and paste the slides that are in there. It's really easy to do. And if you can't do it, go ahead and get yourself a graphic designer in your group, and they will help you do it. Kent, final comments for folks. And remember, next week, I'm going to show you more details about how to start getting your members, and then how to start getting leads pouring into your group, and to literally build a referral machine that will never run out.
FYI, next week you'll probably have a different sidekick, MJ. I am testifying before the Oklahoma State Legislature on how to lower healthcare costs.
Wow.
At the same time we're doing our broadcast.
Nice.
And I think Doug Chapman and I will be there. And so Jimmy Reynolds may be my fill-in. If not, Sean will. But one way or another, you'll have another sidekick to kind of keep the flow going for you. And then this thing requires work. But if you work it, it's like digging a well. It'll produce the water that you need. And there's so many other benefits to this. It increases you. It increases your center of influence. It increases several factors about doing this. But this thing, one, MJ may be one of the first guys on the block to do it. He's going to give you a template. You're going to say, well, MJ, I don't know how to run a meeting like this. Well, partly he showed you how to do it. It's also one of the secrets. One of the first 5 people he recruited was a designer. What do you call it? So, what's the term?
Graphic
I'm losing my
designer?
The computer designer, the graphic designer. Thank you.
Yeah.
Graphic designer, so that he could help create the slides and do this and do that. Some of that's pretty rudimentary, but for me, I'd probably need help. Okay, so get those slides together, and it's just exactly like the 60-second pop-up that you do at a BNI meeting. Okay, here's Bob. Bob, what's a good referral for you this week? And you just hit it. Bob knows how to hit it. He says it, and then all of a sudden, a referral starts being texted into him or chatted into him, and it works. It really does. It's a tremendous deal. One last reminder. Anybody who's, we have people coming in from Atlanta and people coming in from Phoenix, so it's really anywhere. We're doing a boot camp for national group marketing training in Oklahoma City. A flyer will be sent out. You can get one from Tanyelle, and we need RSVPs to know how much to get for lunch. And we found a place that'll do hotel rooms for $63 a night. That's twin beds. You can share it with somebody. So it's very cost effective. It'll be a day and a half of training, October 24th and 25th in Oklahoma City, a suburb called Moore, Oklahoma. And it'll be some tremendous training. Doug Chapman will be there. Dave Collette from corporate said he's going to be there. And there's rumors that Dr. Chen may make an appearance. So it's going to be fantastic. October 24th and 25th.
It's. I also heard that Brad Pitt might be there with his abs.
There you go, man.
And so you should check that out. And let me also say, what was I just going to say before I came up with my my funny joke? I lost it.
Okay. Well, Brad Pitt's actually my avatar. So when people see me on the internet, that's my Brad Pitt with my abs is my avatar. In fact, that's my signature name, Brad Pitt's abs.
I like it. So remember that next week we will continue this discussion. Oh, here's what I wanted to say. If you found this helpful, if you think this is genius, make sure that you let your manager know. Let Doug Chapman know. Send a text. Send a text to your manager. Send a text to Kent. We need feedback. If you like what you're seeing and you're thinking this is cool, it's important for us to know that you find it interesting, that you find it helpful. Remember, this is three of 52. This is 3. We have 49 more ways for you to develop leads. So you've just got the 3rd week, and so you can. So Kent is showing you the his email address and his cell number. Catherine Pierce says, love it, thank you. So Leo says, very good training, love the dynamic. And yeah, we need your success story. So if you've had successes with requesting Facebook friends, if you've sent private messages and you close a deal, you should be letting Sean Reynolds know about this. Let Kent know about that. Let Doug Chapman know about that. If you have a success with a vendor marketing and you approach somebody who sold you stuff and you did a bid brochure and application and you made a sale, let your managers know about this. Really appreciate you all being here. We'll see you next week, next Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central. We love you. We're praying for you. We are supporting you. And dream big and succeed, everybody.
Thanks, MJ. I appreciate it, brother.
All right, man. Bye-bye.
All right.